Have you ever really wondered how much your favorite apps are spying on you? Well, it turns out they're actually being graded on it. And today we're going to take a peek at the report card for some of the biggest apps out there, and then I'm going to show you exactly how to change their grade for good.
So what's this number? 61.47. That is the invasiveness score for Instagram and Facebook. Out of thousands of apps that were studied, they scored the highest. They collect a mind-blowing 32 out of 35 possible types of data on you, and yeah, they link pretty much all of it directly to your real identity.
And that really is the whole point, isn't it? Just being aware is the absolute first step to taking back control. And that's what this explainer is all about, giving you the tools to do just that. Okay, so how does this whole tracking engine actually work? Let's dive in. When you strip it all down, it really comes down to two main ways they follow you around your digital life.
First up is something called your advertising ID. The best way to think of it is like a unique digital license plate for your phone. It's the key that lets advertisers connect what you do in, say, a shopping app with what you do in your social media app. It's what stitches your entire mobile life together into one neat little package for them. Now you have to understand the huge difference between just resetting this license plate and actually deleting it. Resetting just gives you a new plate, but, trackers are smart. They can eventually figure out the new plate belongs to the same car. Deleting it, that's like throwing the license plate away entirely. It just stops the tracking cycle cold.
All right, the second big mechanism is location tracking. And trust me, it is so much more than just GPS. Your phone is constantly using a mix of signals, from the Wi-Fi networks it can see to the cell towers it connects to, and even tiny Bluetooth beacons in stores, all to build this incredibly precise map of where you are, pretty much 24/7.
And all that data put together creates what experts call a pattern of life. It's not just a dot on a map. It's a minute-by-minute profile of your habits, your routines, where you live, where you work, and everywhere you go in between. It's a lot.
But here is the good news, I promise. You can actually dismantle this whole tracking engine. So let's get to the solution and see how you can do it seriously in just a few taps.
We're going to walk through 3 super simple but really high-impact steps that you can take right now to seriously boost your mobile privacy.
Step 1, and this one is huge. Stop apps from tracking your location when you're not even using them. Just setting their access to while using the app cuts off that constant background surveillance.
And here are the exact paths to get there. Just head into your settings, pick an app, and if you see it set to always, switch it to allow only while using the app. Let's be real, there is almost no reason for most apps to know where you are when they're closed.
Okay, next up, we're getting rid of that digital license plate we were talking about. This one single action makes it so much harder for data brokers to connect the dots and build a profile on you across all the different apps you use.
So on an iPhone, you just toggle off Allow Apps to Ask to Track. That stopped any app from getting your ID to begin with. On Android and Samsung, you can go even further and just straight up delete the ID permanently. Honestly, this might be the single most powerful privacy setting you can change on your phone. And the final step is just adopting a really simple habit. I call it the 3-month rule. If you haven't opened an app in 3 months, just delete it. Think of it like a little digital spring cleaning for your phone. And why does this matter so much? Because even apps you never open can be a huge privacy risk. They can still have permissions to your data, they can run things in the background, they're basically potential backdoors just sitting there. So if you don't use it, lose it. So, you've done the steps. Awesome. But let's talk about why this is so critical, especially right now. These settings aren't just about feeling a little more private, they are literally your first line of defense. Which brings us to the big question, right? You change all these settings, but what's to stop a giant company from just finding some clever new way to track you anyway? Well, let me tell you about something that happened just recently. Researchers found this pretty shocking technique. Turns out, the tracking pixels on websites were secretly talking to the Facebook app on people's phones. This completely bypassed the phone's core security, a feature called sandboxing that's supposed to keep apps in their own separate boxes. And the impact was huge. It linked your supposedly anonymous web browsing directly to your logged-in account, making things like VPNs or incognito mode totally useless. And here's the real kicker. This incredibly invasive tracking, it didn't stop because it was the right thing to do. It was only paused after the company got publicly exposed and called out for it, which just goes to show we can't always rely on company promises to protect us.
And that is exactly why the steps we just covered are so important. They are your best defense. By deleting your ad ID and locking down those app permissions, you're taking away the very tools that companies need to pull off these kinds of exploits. You're locking the doors they need to get through.
So in just a few minutes, you've fundamentally shifted the power dynamic with your own device. You've gone from being passively tracked to being actively in control. So the only question left is, what are you going to do with your newfound digital autonomy?